Who knows, maybe we'll pay off our $35 trillion, hand them a little crypto check, right? We'll hand them a little Bitcoin and wipe out our $35 trillion.
So there's something exciting going on in the world of accounting, which doesn't happen very often. And that is that the FASB, which stands for Financial Accounting Standards Board, recently announced that they are going to allow fair value accounting for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency on the balance sheet. This change is important for two reasons. One is it's going to properly reflect the true value of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency on the balance sheet.
Point out some things. So first thing I want to look at is here's the United States, right? And these are the places where the drones are being spotted in high concentration. And so I just want to point out, when you look at Florida, California, and then here in the what we call the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, what do those places have in common? There are a lot of military bases in those places. That's where the majority of our military bases are. And then you come up here to this Northeast area, and what does that have in common? High concentration of people and things that emit frequencies. And so that's one of the first things we look at here is they're being spotted in places that could be sensitive. And then we move on and we look just here in the Northeast and look at some of the places specifically that these have been spotted. We're talking about Picatinny Arsenal Military Base, a very sensitive place. Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster. We look over here, we see Naval Weapons Station, Earl Joint Base, McGuire, Dix, Lakehurst. And what we worry here is when we have Kirby come out and Mayorkas, they've never lied to us about anything, but when they come out and say, we don't know what these are, well, that discredits the safest and best theory right now, which is that this is U.S. testing what our capabilities are, what our defense mechanisms are. So those two things go against each other, and that leaves us all wondering either that the government doesn't know or they're not telling us the truth. And then the pictures we get, the videos, they're not very good. The only reason I want to point this out is one point was made. I saw it on Twitter. I've seen it, or X, and I've seen it from the other experts. And it's this idea that if these are nefarious in nature, why are they using their navigational lights at nighttime? Wouldn't they want to be stealthy? It's a really, really good point. And then you see this is actually a second picture, and this is the quality we're getting, so it's hard to make much of it. And then we move on here to some characteristics. This is all through the reports. We haven't downed one to look at it and see this. This is the supposed characteristics of the majority of these drones. They're 6 to 10 foot in diameter, which is pretty large. We've heard as large as an SUV. And then many of these quadcopter drones are pretty small. They're flying above the FAA's 400-foot height regulation, but they're flying low and slow, so radars don't pick them up. And they're so small, even at 6 foot in diameter, if a radar did pick it up, it would register more like a bird, and it wouldn't alarm anything. One report says they don't give off heat, which I'm not sure what you can draw from that other than what type of power source does it have and what type of payload. Is it a camera, a weapon, delivering a package? What's in it? And then lastly, we have these colorful blinking lights, which again makes us question, well, if it's nefarious, if it's spying, why would it give itself away? I'm going to give you my opinion, my synopsis, is that it's a little bit of all the above. Drones are not just the warfare of the future, they're the way of the future. How we receive things, how we see things, how we do safety on job sites. Drones are used in so many facets and so many industries already today, and AI technology is only going to expedite that quite a bit. So this is really the precipice of the technology that we've come to in this century, in this last decade. And I think that these sightings are indicative of all the things. Some of them are airplanes. Some of them are U.S. or commercial drones. There was a Chinese citizen using a drone over a military base. There have been multiple military bases here and abroad who have reported this, feel like they're getting their airspace invaded by a drone of unknown origin. All these things are happening.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Bitcoin and crypto pumping. And guys, we know this week Jerome is in the house. And we know they like the markets to look good. But he's definitely going to be cutting 25 basis points. We're going to get liquidity in the market. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. But we would definitely have roller coaster rides if you're a trader. There's going to be plenty of volatility over these next 2 weeks. And we have FASB accounting rules effective today. So now, guys, you can claim the losses and the gains. So we know MicroStrategy is definitely going to be a big beneficiary. But guys, remember, this is a plan. It moves in phases. Don't forget, when you see MicroStrategy, you should see Morgan Stanley and BlackRock. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then, guys, we have these drones. And we have Joey on Fox, who gave a wonderful analysis of this whole situation. And he states when it comes to these drones, this is where we're headed. And they're using them for warfare, delivery. All types of industries are going to be using these drones. And what do I tell you? If you want to move an industry, you move it off of negative energy. And the adoption is going to move fast. And the sheep are going to stay asleep because they think it's not going to affect them in the long run. And it works every time. So we know when it comes to the NWO, they stick to the playbook. If it's undefeated, why would you ever want to change it? But when it comes to these drones, these sightings, it is an inside job. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows. When it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Well, Will, first of all, thanks for having me on. But these drones were large. Some of them were as large as 20 feet long. These are the sorts of drones that would have to be launched likely off of a ship offshore. They also had smaller quadcopters that came down off of the larger mothership drones that hovered just above the ground. This happened for 17 straight nights at Langley Air Force Base in Virginia, starting on Pearl Harbor Day, December 7th.
The FAA forced to slow traffic at Stewart International Airport Friday night north of New York City because of multiple reports of drone sightings in the area. Mayor Eric Adams saying his team is taking the reports of drones in the region seriously.
We're going to have an immediate response. We're getting ready to look into some new innovative ways of, if need be, to take down drones with the proper permission from the FAA.
At this point, I think that someone knows what they are. So what we're doing is we're going to go up and watch you. You're watching us, or you're doing whatever. So we're up there watching. We're following. We're trying to get in the air. What they could be, I have no idea. I'm trying to get flight clearance to take the drone up and see what this other drone is, and I cannot. Restricted. I tried to bypass it. At one point, it even asked for my phone number. And I said, no, I think we're good at this point.
Okay, now hang on. When you say looking for flight clearance, how does that work? I mean, are you literally talking with a control tower, or what are you doing?
So there's an app that you use to connect to the drone. When it's time, when you want to fly, you press a button, and what it does is it looks for flight clearance or restrictions. And what happened was there was a restriction in that area, and I couldn't get up, but there were drones in the air.
Mark Taylor is the mayor of Florham Park, New Jersey. They look like a small car to me. Their wingspans are probably 6 feet across. What they appear to be are drones.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. with triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.